I saw on YouTube an old interview with David Greenglass, whose testimony sent both his brother-in-law and his sister, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, to their deaths in the electric chair, and made orphans out of his nephews. Now, one of the interesting things about his testimony is he admitted in his 60 Minutes interview that his testimony about his sister, Ethel, was a lie. He perjured himself on the witness stand that his sister, Ethel, had done the typing, which made her guilty of treason. And he admitted that he actually had no recollection of who had done the typing, or even that it had been done at the meeting that the four of them had. In fact, he doesn't think that it was done there, much less that it was done by Ethel. The reason that he plagiarized, that he perjured himself was because he was urged to do so by Joe McCarthy's assistant, Cohn. And he basically was part of the legal judicial murder of his sister, who had not really committed a crime. She was the wife of a spy. Now, the thing about that is evidence that was made public after the fall of the Soviet Union showed that what he had said about his brother-in-law, Julius Rosenberg, was almost certainly true. Julius was a spy. But Ethel Rosenberg was simply the wife of the spy. That's not a crime, much less a death penalty crime. She hadn't committed a crime. She was basically just a homemaker who had quite a few health problems and was taking care of two small children and basically involved in domestic chores, which were heavier in the 1950s than they are today before the microwave. And the reason he perjured himself was to keep his wife out of trouble. His wife, Ruth Greenglass. He told investigators, basically he would say anything, providing they don't touch his wife. His wife was the mother of his own children. And he felt his major loyalty was to his wife, not to his sister. So he was willing to kill his sister to save his wife. And it was a very troubling interview because he did commit a felony, perjury, and was part of a judicial murder because, you can disagree about the death penalty. They may even think that Julius Rosenberg deserved the death penalty as a spy. But Ethel Rosenberg was put to death on perjured testimony. On testimony that was pressured and perjured. So she was murdered. Any way you look at it, her execution was unwarranted. Her execution was a murder. And her own brother, her own flesh and blood, murdered her. I guess in his own mind, he had a higher loyalty. His loyalty to his wife was more important than his loyalty to his sister. But the fact is that he did commit perjury. And both he and Roy Cohn conspired in what amounted to a judicial murder.